All right, welcome everybody. We're going to start. Today we're going to be talking about doing a guided support system in SharePoint. So we'll go ahead and cover some ground rules first, and then we'll get into our main presentation. Just to do some quick intros and ground rules, I'm Will Cooper. I am a SharePoint developer and just do all kinds of different things with SharePoint, and also along with that, the rest of the Microsoft 365 platform, including Power Automate, Power Apps, and everything related to that. I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And to tell you a little bit about Infowise, we are a provider of the Ultimate Forms add-in for SharePoint. And our philosophy is to make things simple and easy to do. And also, we're always wanting to improve and keep making things better and easier for our customers to help them accomplish what they want to in SharePoint. Ultimate Forms is a full solution package for SharePoint. Allows you to build out complete solutions. You can do that completely in the SharePoint interface and also do it without having to do any coding at all. So no programming, you don't have to be a developer. We are going to record this. I'll post it later today on YouTube in case you want to review or share this with anyone. And at the end of our presentation today, we'll do a drawing for an embroidered Infowise polo shirt. And stick around for that. That's for folks who are in the US, just for shipping reasons. We do have to limit it that way. Another thing I want to mention, I do post SharePoint learning videos on my own channel, which is SharePoint Smart. So if you've not seen any of that, be sure to search for that on YouTube, and you can get some more SharePoint information that way. If you have questions or comments during the presentation, please use the questions interface and go to webinar, and we'll try to help you out. And if needed, we may answer some of those questions towards the end of the presentation. All right, enough for the ground rules. Our product's available both for Microsoft 365 and also for on-premise SharePoint. So the things I'm going to show you today are things that you can set up in either type of environment. This is how I tend to think about SharePoint without additional tools. It's a bit limiting and confusing, especially for newcomers to SharePoint or regular users, and that's not a great situation to be in. I'm sure all of us can relate to that. By using Ultimate Forms, these additional tools, it really allows you to build out full solutions, and it brings all the functionality and features that you want so that you can accomplish everything that you need to. So I really see our tools as a way to solve those challenges. All right, now to the focus of what we want to talk about today, guided support. And what we're trying to do is be smarter and more efficient in terms of helping users when they're reporting in for a problem. And this is something we can all relate to because even if, for example, you're a help desk manager or someone who's responsible to respond and provide a resolution on support tickets, you're also on the other side of that fence as well. All of us have the experience of going to a business or something like that over the web and trying to get information or help to resolve an issue. So it's something that we all experience. And what we're going to show today, we're going to talk about being a bit smarter about that and taking a more progressive approach. And these are some of the components that we want to make sure we accomplish. One is we want to be responsive real time to what our customer is asking about, the problem that they're trying to resolve. We want to examine what they're putting in real time and direct them to that resolution as efficiently as possible. We want to suggest solutions depending on the type of issue they're reporting. And to accomplish that, we want to build a knowledge base which is going to provide those instructions and help with those issues that are coming up. This is really all about creating the path of least resistance for your user, and also for your support infrastructure. This is all about efficiency and eliminating wasted time, and also creating a better user experience. When we're providing recommendations or suggestions for help, we want to make sure we're giving detailed solution steps. So it's not that we're just suggesting help. We really want to be providing good quality help for that. There's sort of a bargain here. We're going to save on time by perhaps not having to answer questions repeatedly by setting up calls with the user, but to do a good job in terms of service, we want to make sure the content and the directions we provide are very well written and detailed. In order to get started with the knowledge base and to facilitate this type of solution, what you want to think about is duplication of requests. And invariably, especially in a larger support situation, there's a pattern. And there are issues that tend to repeat, and those are especially the ones that you want to pay close attention to. And that's really what this type of solution is all about. So in getting started with this, you want to look at those pre-existing support requests and tickets and identify patterns and repeat issues where a solution's already been solved and the same thing is reoccurring and people are asking for the same help over and over again. All right, so we want to write smart knowledge base articles. All right, let's get to SharePoint. Here I am in SharePoint Online, and I have a simple site set up for support. Now, we've covered in previous presentations examples of help ticket systems. This could be for within your organization, which is what we're showing today, or it could be even through a public web page, which is also something you can facilitate through Ultimate Forms. And we're emphasizing this part of the functionality. So it's really the intake process that we want to look at today. In order to facilitate this type of solution, there's two key lists that work hand in hand. One, of course, is your support ticket list, which is going to be where your users go in to request the support. And then the other is going to be the knowledge base, which you will be creating, building, maintaining as you continue to work to help your organization be efficient in terms of what they're doing. And I'm going to start by jumping right to the example so we can see just exactly what it is we're talking about and what we're hoping to accomplish. So I'm in the user role this moment and I need help. I'm trying to do something in SharePoint, but I'm brand new to SharePoint and I'm stuck. And I don't know what to do. I didn't find information where I went to look. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to come in here. And in my mind, I'm just trying to get a support ticket and I want somebody to call me. That's what I'm thinking about at the moment. So I'm confused about something related to SharePoint security. And what you can see is as I typed into the request field, it searched through the knowledge base real time to find matching articles. And also in our form, we have some customization to provide direction to users. It lets them know what's going on here. Enter request words that specifically describe your issue. It makes some suggestions, gives them a little guidance. It's kind of telling them, make sure to mention the software, what platform, the website. I have a problem. It's not the kind of request we want. And I'm sure you guys can relate to those type of situations. So we're hoping for details, and that's going to help improve the results. If I type something else, it's going to search and come up with different responses. Okay, so even though I'm in the support system, it's not presenting me all those typical things they're used to with the support ticket yet, because it wants to see, can your issue get resolved by these solutions that have already happened, that we've already provided? So when they go in here, they say, oh yeah, this sounds like the issue I'm having. You click on the link, it's going to open on a pop-up window, and then they'll provide some instructions. Now, this isn't a very detailed instructions. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but the concept you can see, this would hopefully describe their issue, that type of thing. If they want, they can also double click on this and jump off to that article. Now, what should be able to happen for you is that in some cases, this is now providing an alternative path. This may be a savvy user. They can resolve and work through these steps. And now, instead of having created a support ticket and eating up precious resources in terms of the time of your support staff and also the time of the person requesting the issue, they may be able to resolve this on their own immediately. So that's a better experience for them, and it's saving time for your organization. Now, of course, depending on their issue, it's maybe not going to get resolved by that. And that's okay if that happens. So basically, we want to show them that first, but then only if they can't find a resolution that way, they can say, thanks for the suggestions, but please more help. Now, once I toggle this button over, now it's saying, all right, we understand you didn't see a resolution to this, and now we're falling back to the regular support request form. So I can go in here, and now it's saying, okay, well then, can you give us a time where we can follow up? And then I've got validation for required fields and things like that. So now it's more like a typical help desk system. Is this a priority? Yes, everybody likes to say it's a priority. Well, here's a warning that shows dynamically saying, oh, hold on a second, marking your ticket, it's like calling 911. Is this really a critical issue that needs immediate attention? Okay, so maybe this would help with people who tend to like to say that everything they request is a priority. I've certainly seen that in support systems that I've worked in. So they basically have to do a confirm here if that's the case. And then it's requiring them to put in all those details, and then they can attach screenshots. And at that point, you can follow a regular kind of support process. So that's the general concept we're shooting for from the user interface. We want to try for that alternative path first. So this is a proactive approach in terms of trying to resolve user issues. Now, if you have a support system you're working with in your organization, you have a wealth of information there already in these existing support tickets and things like that. So that's what you can look to. But what we're thinking about here with the knowledge base is a polished content, which is going to help describe in detail what people do. Now, the good thing on this, in terms of providing that search capability, that's all handled automatically through the crawl that's being provided by SharePoint. It's reviewing that content and things like this. This knowledge article that you're looking at is more indicative of what I think of as quality instructions. The screenshots and pictures with the step-by-step are what make things really clear and easy to understand for the users. So this is your ideal of what you want to do. This is a detailed instructions with screenshots walking a user through how to apply some settings to resolve a problem with their Windows credentials. So this is all just in a rich text editor field. Also, we want to do some categorization of those knowledge-based articles, naturally by the technology platform. We want to get that in there, and that can help with searching. And then we just have a title for the article and the instructions. So only 3 fields. This is the type of a system where you can manage this easily. And then by using the group by in the SharePoint view, we can kind of break this down into categories. Another dual benefit of this is a knowledge base that the users can go directly to. Maybe they just want to browse right through that without even going to the help ticket. They can just go directly here to access the articles that way as well. So as a team, if you're managing support in your organization, and if this is something that is, a significant need, and you guys as an organization are putting hundreds of hours into this, This is certainly a more progressive and dynamic approach that is likely to be, a major benefit, make a major positive impact for your organization. This is something you want to think about if you don't take this approach at all today. And this is also something we're familiar with. I imagine a lot of the people on this call have opened a ticket with Microsoft. I certainly have needed to do that. And when you go in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center and you go to open a ticket, this is exactly what they do. You start to put in your ticket and you'll see articles that they'll link you to. It's exactly the same strategy. So what you're doing is really trying to match up and use that same modern progressive approach that you're seeing in larger enterprise level websites and organizations. But the good thing is you're able to do this without having to invest a lot of time or a lot of headaches in special programming or techniques, things like that. Okay, let's take a look at how this is set up. How did this work? This is utilizing a new Ultimate Forms feature, and that's what we're going to go to next. I'm going to take you behind the curtains and show you that this really is quite easy to configure. So when you have Ultimate Forms installed, it allows you to go to this dashboard, which provides all those additional settings I was talking about earlier. And I'm going to a form designer tool. This is what let me have this multi-column interface and have all these special fields and things that I've set up. This is a special control, as I say, just recently added for Ultimate Forms, and it's the suggestions control. And it's quite simple. I put in some text at the bottom, and this is where I put a header on there. It said check for an existing solution. And then it just asks me, which list. I have that other list in the site. I just said, look in the knowledge base list. And then it asks me which column to search in. So, or it asks me which field in the form to tie to that. So it's the request field that I want to have for the input. And then it'll go to the knowledge base list and do results. And then I can fine tune this. So you can imagine it'd be kind of crazy if it started returning results after I type 2 or 3 characters. So what's going on here is as soon as I have typed 10 characters, that's basically, when the starting gun goes off for the search results and it will start returning results. Otherwise, you'd have kind of a frenetic form and it would make a lot of sense. But you can fine tune that. So that's a nice thing. You can tweak and adjust and see how things go. Another thing that's good, we don't want to overwhelm the user. We don't want to inundate them with 15 articles when they type SharePoint or security or something like that. So you have this maximum number of results. In my case, I had set it to 5. And that's another thing that you can adjust. Then I can tweak the content. There's an option that says, do you want to show the creator and the creation date on there? That might be relevant. As the user, I might like to know what's the most recent information, go for a more recent article, things like that. Now, another thing I need to do to get this dynamic form is I set up some rules here, where as I said, I kind of switched the form mode according to whether they've checked the solution yet or not. So initially, I really just want their name and their request before anything else happens. And the way I made that work, I called this field opt-out, and there's some rules in the form which control what's going on depending on whether that's on. So it starts off, because we want them to look at the suggestions first, but then I put in this simple rule that says, this is read on the new form and opt-out's not equal to yes. So what that means is initially I'm going to see this section, but as soon as they toggle it on and say, hey, thanks for the suggestions, but I need somebody to reach out, that type of thing, it'll immediately hide that in the display. And then same type of rule down here. So as soon as the opt-out gets toggled on, I just said, write if opt-out. Make that whole section show up if that field opt-out is set to yes. And that's how you get that form that you saw where this whole panel here pops into view for me, and it goes to a regular support ticket form based on that rule. And that's all I had to do. I didn't have to do any programming or anything like that. And then also I could do things like put in these snippets. So I had the message at the top, and I was able to style that a little bit. And I didn't have to do any CSS or special inputs to do that either. I just picked a color swatch. I said I can make that color whatever I want. I wanted to change it to green. I picked a border, put some padding. That's it. Now it's green. And then I just have a little rich text content editor. So no scripting, no CSS, no special things like that. It's all just through simple drop downs and things like that. I do not have to be a developer to make this work. So that's really the gist of how I had to set that up. I didn't have to do special programming. I just picked that control, and yeah, I'll not save my changes, and all of that worked. Now, just as is in the case with all help desk systems, all of that other functionality is there, and you can look at some of our other videos to learn more about help desk systems. In fact, we have a free video and training we have, which is called Kickstart Training on Ultimate Forms, and that training happens to cover the full comprehensive build of the help desk system. So that's something you can check out if you're interested. So really, that's kind of the main thing I wanted to show you today. This is a strategy that I recommend that you apply over and above whatever you might already do in terms of a help system where people create tickets. And again, I just want to emphasize how easy it is to maintain and update these help tickets. As I say, it's just a rich text field. And in terms of the searching, that's handled behind the scenes for you by the SharePoint platform automatically. So the search results are going to work. And all I had to do is pick a category, give it an article title, and write instructions. So you can see the impact and value of this will just progressively increase over time, so long as you're diligent and you work on writing those articles. And also, this is useful to quickly resolve help desk tickets. As you well know, people tend to report in with issues, and you're still going to have users who say, yeah, don't suggest. I just want somebody to help me out, that type of thing. By having this knowledge base article here, by devoting your time to it, you're giving your help team something to point to specifically. Even if that article was suggested and they bypassed it and has exact instructions on what to do, if I'm on the help team, I can say, yep, I get this one all the time. How do I remove the save Windows credentials? I can just go to this article, grab the link, and reply in the ticket and say, here's an article which shows you what to do. And I can reply in the email quickly, and I'm not wasting my time. I'm not retyping instructions that we've already described and I've helped somebody with 20 times. I'm not doing a web meeting with them. Instead, I've got a nicely written article which gives you the exact steps on what to do. So this is beneficial in that scenario as well, to more quickly and efficiently close out those repeat help ticket situations. Just to talk a little bit more about Ultimate Forms, if you're not familiar with their product and it's something you're curious about, the most important thing you could do after this meeting would be to try it for yourself. There's two primary ways that you can do that. A great thing to do is install it in your own SharePoint environment. If you want to do that, it does give you the tools freely available for up to 30 days. So you can click on the Quick Start menu to get there. Even faster, if you're not a SharePoint admin, that may take some time to get set up. If you do the try now for free, you can do an online trial in our tenant, and that literally takes you 1 minute. We'll just ask you for an email. It will provision a site in our SharePoint tenant with our tools already installed. You can log right in and start playing around with the form building tool and all that. So that's really good. If you want to have a direct one-on-one conversation with our team, in that case, just do the requested demo. We can set up a web meeting. We can get into more details about your environment, your specific situation, and answer questions about the product. Along with that, we provide all kinds of training resources. We have tutorials and formal instructor-led training as well, if you want to sign up for that. And then also previous webinars that you can look at as well. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to take a look at some of the questions. We can go to that, and then we will do a drawing for a shirt momentarily. So let me take a look at some of the comments and questions. All right, you guys are being quiet, so see if you have any particular ideas. Okay, there's a question from a user about can you search a list on a different site? I'm not sure about that. I have to check on that. It's a good question, John. In general, I think it's looking for information in the local site, but I think that could be facilitated. So I will have to follow up with you on that. And then you asked about filtering results by permissions. That sounds a little bit kind of like a unique scenario. In general, this knowledge base is intended to be public facing and available to everybody. So that may be a special kind of scenario what you described. So I might need to do something extra there. Does anybody else have any questions on how to approach it, that type of thing? Again, if you have a help desk solution or something in your organization, you're not quite sure how you would fit this into it, by all means, please contact us directly for a call. Let me go ahead and let's draw for a shirt now. If you guys want to use the chat for people who are in the US, you're eligible to do the shirt drawing. Just give me a number 1 to 100, and I'm going to take the closest number, and I'll give you about 10 seconds to give me a number for that, and I'll announce the winner. All right. Okay, I think we've got a winner, David Glass. If you will go ahead and email your shirt size, your address to me. My email is willc@infowisesolutions.com. That's WILLC. And that's it. That's really what we wanted to cover for today. So hopefully this gives you some ideas on how to approach doing guided support, and this will maybe get something started, a new process for improvements in your organization. I really want to thank you guys for joining today. I'll keep the meeting going for a few more minutes in case you guys have additional questions. And that's it. Thank you very much.